Chapter O Canada, page 1. Oh, I made a mistake. Ha ha ha, right out the bat. Okay, well, what I gotta do here? Ta-da. Okay, here we go. A Hitchhiker's Chronicle, Tome 1. Hitchhiking What a Trip. Chapter O Canada, cover page. Hi everybody. Well, I don't know if you have read any of the other chapters of this book so far. But if you did, my question is this one. What do you really think of it so far? I hope that it is in your liking. So for this chapter, O Canada, I wanted to do something totally different from the rest of the book. Chronologically successive. Yes, you're right. What a change. Throughout this chapter, at time, I will step away from this trend and reminisce on former hitchhiking trips in this beautiful, wonderful, incredibly vast and diversified country that is Canada. Diversified by its panoramas, economics, ethnics, and trends. I am currently writing those lines at 22:58 Saturday, November 1st, 2014, in the Burnaby Metrotown Mall, McDonald. Metrotown, you got the Metrotown SkyTrain station. Well, you get the mall, and then you go out of the mall, you go around the corner, you go up the stair, and you jump in the metro. The SkyTrain. I have acquired the data so far of this portion of this trip since its beginning from North Bay, Ontario, Saturday, October 25th, 2014 at 4:40. Data of all the 24 rides that were required to get me here. Not bad. 24 rides, so that means 24 different vehicles. Just a start, I just got there. I'm starting to get back now. The main goal of my coming to Vancouver was to pay a visit to my buddy, Jess Mischuk, fruit co-picker of mine, and also an international big cat handler and trainer. Example, Cheetah Outreach in Cape Town, South Africa, winter 2012-2013. I wanted to see him before his departure for his volunteering duties, so he's going to be a volunteer at the Panther Ridge Conservation Center in Wellington, West Palm Beach, Florida, USA. Now, he plays with Serval in Canada, he goes to Africa and plays with cheetahs, and now he's going to Wellington, West Palm Beach, play with Panther. Yeah, crazy guy. I want this chapter of Canada to be a faithful representation and a deep thank you to everyone, ladies and gentlemen, who give me a ride, and also to everyone that have helped me, one way or another, during this short journey. Thanks. I hope that you will have as much fun listening or reading it that I will have in acquiring the data for it and putting it together. Cheers! Okay, now, throughout the stories, once in a while, I will refer to a reference number. In this chapter, well, this is O Canada, I got all the rides of all the I did in those 4 months of touring around and getting datas. So if I say somewhere like, I don't know, man, blah blah blah, I was in Vermilion, Alberta, and I was going somewhere to Edmonton, and this chick, number 14, Rami. Now, when I say that, reference 14, if you want to, you can go into the spreadsheet of the 2014 fall and winter 2015 winter hitchhiking trip rides list, O Canada, like OH, like I made difference in French, it's HO, page 4, and you go up, number 14, October 29, Alberta. Who? Rami, lady, never hitch. Proactive store manager at West Edmonton Mall, Iron Dale Intra, Vermilion, Edmonton Motel Chateau, and then you get all the stuff that she bring me, GPS, whatever. Or I can go, reference number 3, so it's Chris Milton. He's a gold mine dump truck driver, front loader operator. He picked me up in Kirkland Lake and at Junction and Matheson. Or something else. So that's for the ride. I give you also like in calendars how many days I ready to hike and the one not, and which days I got which rides. And I got, I guess I was always off. I got a total of, let me see here. I got a total of, I think, 76 days off and 52 days on or something. So I was not always hitchhiking. I can take breaks. I'm getting old. Okay, so here we go. This is chapter O Canada, page 1 out of 64. I think I don't remember now. Funny. Chapter O Canada, page 1. Oh yeah, I cheated a little bit this time. I didn't have enough money for a WestJet ticket, so I decided to bus on Greyhound from Montreal to North Bay. I arrived at 5:15 at Tim Horton, the one on the east side of town, sitting on the corner of number 11 and 17 number highway. I'll do a Thunder Bay sign and I'll start around 7 a.m., so I thought of the time. I decided not to hitchhike from this spot once I talked to two police officers in the Tim Horton. Instead, I offered myself a nice little walk across downtown North Bay from 7:20 to 9 a.m. Once arrived at the most west gas station, Tim Horton, it started to downpour rain. So I hung around there until 10. So I get there at 9 and just, try to dry out before I go back in the rain, I guess. Just before leaving the first Tim Horton, the one in the morning, I had informed myself with one of the police officers about the weather forecast. No rain, cloudy, plus 8 degrees. But while I walked at around 8:30, it started to rain. At the second Tim Horton, I inquired again with an older gentleman about the weather forecast. He told me that the rain was only supposed to start toward the afternoon end. So like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, not 8:30. So the cops were right. Oh, here we got $3 sign, ding ding ding, in between the two chapters. So let's check it out. A little bit after the rain started, at around 8:40ish, on the Jane and Algonquin Street corner, impatiently waiting for me, on the ground was a nice blue $5 bill. While smoking my last cigarette before I started to hitchhike, the gentleman who told me about the rain not supposed to start before the afternoon end came out of Timmy and offered me a $10 bill. A $10 bill I tried in vain to refuse, he said, for road coffees. And he went back in. With such an argument, how could I refuse? I slid on the waterproof poncho that my buddy Marius had given me the last time that I visited him in Rimouski and put it on my backpack. Ready or not, here we go. I only had my right foot on the street and the left one on the sidewalk when right behind me resonated a car horn. That's when Chad Chennett, reference number 1, civil engineer, currently employed in Regina, offered me a ride to Englehart. Coming visit his buddies and participating at his best friend's wedding seems to be the right excuse to take time off from work. He hasn't hitchhiked in his life so far yet. A father and son, reference number 2, I believe they were anyway, previously, previously passed me by, U-turn, picked me up and brought me to Kirkland Junction. At 6 p.m., just before full darkness, a Dodge Ram pickup truck stopped. Hailing from New Brunswick, Chris Hamilton, reference number 3, picked me up. He came to Madison for the first time 10 years ago and have been working out of there since. Currently employed as a gold mining dump truck driver and alternates at time with the front loader operator job. He was just coming back with his daughter whom, whom was sleeping soundly in the back seat from a birthday or a Halloween party. Accomplished hitchhiker himself, he dropped me off at 7 p.m. in Madison at the Northern Delight Chinese restaurant. Before he left, I asked if he knew of a covered place where I could sleep the night dry. He told me of a covered area big enough to protect 8 picnic tables close to a water fountain. He showed me from afar which street I had to take to find it. I was warmly welcomed by the lady. So the lady, she said, "Hi, how are you? Where you come in?" So by the lady working at the restaurant. It took me a while to choose from the menu my well-deserved late supper. My choice finally landed on combination B. After totally cleaning my plate, I inquired about the opening hours. I paid and left. I tried to find my night shelter, the one that Chris had told me, but in vain. When you don't know exactly what you're looking for and where it is, in an unknown town during a rainy, pitch dark night, it's never too easy. I finally conceded defeat after 15 minutes of intensive search. Roaming around in an unknown residential area at night isn't a good idea. Having $40 cash on me and $88 in the bank, I checked out the motel, but nobody's there. I kept walking a little bit further. I saw on my left a community hall and an agricultural fall fairground, like in a fair, but in the fall. About 150 meters back stood some kind of barn warehouse. Nothing forbidding me entrance, lucky me. I always make a point of honor not to openly trespass on or in a private public place. Doesn't matter what kind of situation I find myself in, or that I didn't write that down, or that I threw it. I just throw myself in shit, man. I just it's too boring. Everything goes so fine. I just jump in something else to see what's gonna happen. So sometimes, should have thought before. Nothing. So about 150 minutes. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter what kind of situation I find myself in. Once at the barn warehouse, it started to really downpour rain. To my great joy, I found out that in front of the whole length of the building, there was a roofed open end divided wooden structure. I found also right there a bunch of 2x4 planks, which I laid down on the wet ground. I covered those planks with my waterproofed hitchhiking signs. I inserted my sewn together fleece blankets in my small high-tech sleeping bag and put on the top of my two-night bed of fortune. Smoked the last cigarette, and then I crashed asleep real hard until 7 a.m.